afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to PBTV. I hope you've had a good weekend and managed to get out shooting yourself. We had an amazing day at Proving Grounds yesterday, and people really liked the bolster arms whilst it was hitting the field. Got a chance to test it and see it in the flesh, which was really, really exciting. But we'll leave that for another video. Here we are today with the KU906 from Army Armament. This is a sort of a reimagining it, or a micro AUG, some would say. It's one of the shortest AUG builds that you can get, and in a bullpup system, trying to make it even shorter makes it fit into that really nice CQB category. Very, very nice. The original idea, or the concept behind having a bullpup system, is the fact that you can have a shorter platform with a longer barrel, because obviously normally if your chamber is in front of your trigger, I would only have this much barrel, but because the chamber is behind and the hop is back here, you have a very large barrel. If you have any question about this at all, the Army Armament KU906, by all means drop them down below and we'll try and flash them up on screen as quickly as we can. If not, I will go from front to back and cover all the different bits on it. There is quite a bit to cover on this. It's got bits of rail and little gadgets all over it. But on the front, we do have a quite uniquely looking birdcage style system, but we do have a 40mm counterclockwise thread underneath there, so you can add any of your standard furniture, tracer units, anything like that. Be aware, obviously you can see where this sits, the actual threads end here. So if you do take this off, the top rail here and the grip attachment here, the sort of bottom rail, will mean that you can't really put things on there that are wide. So you need something like the Spitfire that has the sort of shaft that goes down and sits inside. So just be aware of what accessories you're trying to fit on the front, because you don't want to be disappointed when it doesn't fit. If you're wanting to put something different on there, a simple 1-inch extender, 40mm to 40mm, just stick that on there and then you can get a nice flush finish right there, and you can put anything you want on it. So it's very, very cool. Coming to the top, we do have iron sights. These are removable. On the front, we've got a pin and a standard flippable day-night sight system at the back. Both are removable by screws on the side. The pin at the front can be adjusted for elevation, and the rear sight can be adjusted for windage. As always, I say it every single time, it's iron sights. Zeroing iron sights is it's what it is in airsoft. If you want to do it just to give you peace of mind, by all means do, but it's not going to be a massive help. You do have a massive rail section up here, probably about 10 inches in length, which means that you can fit all the cool little gadgets that you want on there. Pec boxes, red dot sights, magnifiers, anything you want. Be aware that if you're doing a cheek weld back here, you already have kind of a riser on here, so this rail, compared to where your cheek's going to be back here, it's almost like the riser that's on T1s already. So it means you can low mount things. You could put the Doctor sights on there. You could put the Vector Optics Frenzies on here. Nice, low, very, very neat looking compact red dots. Again, it's entirely an option. If you are then putting very low mounted optics on here, be aware Pec Box's lasers aren't really going to sit on there properly, because it's going to completely block your vision. So what they have done is, on the right hand side, you've got a RIS section at the front here, you've got one slightly further back, and you have a matching one to this on the other side. So torches and things like that, if you are running them low optics, you can stick your torches on an angle and things like that, so you're not obstructing the view of your red dot. ODST, does the canted rail mean you can shoot at an angle or not because of hop? Pros and cons between canted and things like that. It is not for range or anything like that. If you have a weapon like this, obviously hop puts downwards pressure on a BB main in its backspin. As soon as you do this, the backspin's going to mean it is then going to start traveling left and right. The main reason why you should cant a platform like this is a bore axis reason. If you're coming to, say, a window or a low frame or a fence line or something like that, if you're aiming over it, your muzzle might be pointing directly at the fence in front of you. You want to be canting that to change your bore axis to your optic, Again, if you're engaging anything beyond 10, 15 meters with a canted weapon, your hop is going to flash it off in very different directions. So I'd avoid it as much as possible, but if you want to do it, if you've got magnification on here, you could quite simply put a small dot sight on the side here. Paul Eastwood, what's the weight like? Heavy or light? As you can see, I'm resting it on the table because moving this around, there's a lot of metal work on here and it's very loud when it bangs on the table. But this thing is just over 3 kilos. So as a sort of compact platform, it is quite heavy, but with all the weight being in the gearbox at the back, you do have some metal work at the front here with the grip. The grip itself is aluminium, but most of the body is plastic. So just over 3 kilos, you are going to know about it when you're running around with this thing. Does it come in OD green? Currently, no. This is the only colour that I think I'm only aware of the Army Armament doing a black one, so I don't think this variant comes in green, unfortunately. But it does look quite slick and mean and stealthy in the black. I quite like it. So I was saying, it is pre-fitted with this rail system at the front, and this metal grip is in the box with it, so it's not an extra attachment or anything like that. It does come with it. There is a 4th bit of rail. I have no idea why it's down here. Maybe if you want to put a canted grip on it, but on this side here, on the downward angle, no idea why it's there. I don't know what you'd put down there. If you wanted to put a pressure pad or something, or a torch down here, by all means, but I've never really seen a need or a use for 45-degree downward rail systems. But if you find one, let us know. Personally, I think it's probably mainly for pressure pads, not actually accessories, so it's just convenient. And again, the amount of rail systems that you just seem to have bolted on all of this thing is quite peculiar. If you're not wanting them on there, they are simply screwed on with Allen keys, so you can move around whichever ones you want. So coming further back, we do have the ejection port back here. The charging handle on the left is semi-functional. So if we slide it all the way back and lift it up, you can see that the charging port opens here, giving you a rotary hop. The spring on here and the very sort of metal plate, I'm not too keen about sticking fingers and everything in here and trying to adjust the hop. So I'd probably use a screwdriver, flat-headed screwdriver to adjust it. It is quite a tight hole, so again, it's just awkward to do. If you've got gloves on, it's going to be a nightmare trying to do this in-game. So make sure it's done beforehand and use a flat-headed screwdriver, pulling it down, bringing it forward, and there you go, it's nice and sealed. It is a rotary hop, so again, massive bonus when it comes to sort of the hop staying in its position. You're not having a slider or a gear type. They are the sort of more consistent style hop systems, so you're going to get some really good range out of this. And again, as I was on about earlier, combine that with the bullpup system, meaning in a platform this size, you're getting a 330mm in a barrel. I think it's a 6.08 internally, so it's not a tight bore, but again, this thing is churning out about 340 FPS, so if you did end up putting a tight bore in this, it might creep over into a slightly higher power limit. 330mm in a barrel means you can quite easily swap it out for some of the more sort of carbine length AR style mid-range barrels, and again, just be aware that at the power limit this thing's coming out, it is going to be quite potent, and at that length, if you're adding maybe 10%-ish FPS going to a tight bore, a 6.03, it might take you over that 350 mark. It is a version 3 gearbox in here, so any aftermarket parts, gate tightens, there's a version 3 gate tighten, all that kind of stuff will drop in here, and you could turn this into an absolute machine if you wanted to, but as it stands, these are very, very cool. The fire controls and things on it are very awkward to get used to, but once you have mastered them, they do make a lot of sense. So the safety there, so currently on safe, pushing it through is on fire. That is the only sort of option that you have is on or off, and then you have semi-auto, and then pulling all the way is full auto, so you have what's called a 2-stage trigger. Just be aware that sometimes they can be a little bit over easy to fire, so semi-auto comes to a wall and then bringing it back into that click, if you can hear that on the screen, that's what puts it into full auto, holding it and it will go. Releasing it, again, it's just be aware of it, that some sites are a little bit dubious about 2-stage triggers, and again, if you're a CQB site, you just make sure you're allowed to use them and you can prove that you can use it competently. Jay Jones, what kind of range do you get? Does it reach out to? Unfortunately, range is an impossible number for us to put to because there are far too many factors to add into when it comes to what weight BB you're using, conditions of the day, hop set, everything like that. They will be slightly different between each one that you get out of the box. So for us to put an exact figure to it, it's not something that we can calculate. Again, with that sort of FPS and the sort of 6.08 and the hop system here, it's going to be the same as any of your standard AEGs. But again, it's not something that we can physically measure or put a numeric number to. Unfortunately, there's far too many factors to take in. ODST, what battery does it take, and what's the largest it will take? So again, with it being UK power limits, we have to say stick to 7.4 or less. You could go to a 9.6 NIM if you wanted, but LiPos just seem to deliver the power a lot better. Batteries are in the back, and it is a mini Tamiya, so you're probably going to be, if you go over the 7.4, you're going to risk pre-engagement, as we've mentioned many times in live streams. You can risk it coming, the gear coming forward too fast and damaging the piston and everything like that, because it's under that UK power limit. If you're going over like DMRs or things like that, then it's probably fine. It's going to come back faster. But stick to your 7.4 with this. It's going to be absolutely fine. With that 340 FPS, I think it's an absolute gem out the box. But you're going to definitely fit a decent sized battery in here. We do recommend, I can't remember which one, what size it is, maybe a 1300, what fits in the back of here, but we do recommend a sized battery on the statistics on this one. Paul Eastwood, any Sling Points? Yes, QD ones as well. So currently you can't, there's not one on that side, but on the left hand side, it does come with the actual Sling Point, but on here we do have a single QD Sling Point on the left hand side there. Apart from that, it is going to be rail mounted ones. So again, with these many rail systems that you have over it, you could put a rail mounted Sling Point on there, but apart from that, it is a single point QD on the back left hand side. Coming to the magazine, obviously people that have never seen the AUG magazine style before, it is a little bit unique in its look. So obviously it has the larger portion at the front, does come with a 300 round high cap mag that you wind by the wheel at the bottom and fill with BBs from the window at the top. When you are putting mags inside AUGs, just roll it forward and then it slightly rolls backwards. Similar to an AK, but not entirely, and it's not essential. You can go straight in like an M4. It just means that they click in nicer and you just get them in a little bit easier. Mag release is on the back there, so because the mag release is on a central position and the fire selector is on a central position, technically it's kind of ambidextrous in that front, but the charging handle is only on the left-hand side, so it kind of forces itself to be a right-handed weapon. But control-wise and for airsoft, absolutely a fully ambidextrous system. But these are very cool. I mean, you've got that rotary hop, you've got 330mm in a barrel in a platform, not much bigger than a P90 really. Probably P90 comes to about here, so it is in that sort of same category of very extreme CQB styling. You've got that 40mm thread on the front if you wanted to put things. As I did say for the people that have joined afterwards, you can see where my finger is here. That is where the threads start on the flash hider. So make sure if you are wanting to swap this out, you have a shouldered accessory so you don't bump into the two rail systems here, or get yourself an inch extender and then you can put whatever you want in there. Apart from that, everything that is on here is included. The aluminium sort of grip that's on the front and the sort of astronomical amount of separate rail systems. So you've got the grip one, the big long one at the top, you've got 1, 2, 3 on that side and 1, 2 on this side. There's rail systems all over the place, so you have full sort of control over where you want to put accessories on this thing. But they're very cool, and I hope to see some of these on the field. They are quite a neat little thing. I'm not a massive bullpup fan. I'm not keen on the reloading system on this, but I think this is a little bit sci-fi enough for me to kind of lean into it a bit. But this has been the KU906 from Army Armament. If we've missed your question, I do apologise. If there's something you want to know about this or anything else, drop us a message on Instagram and we'll try and get to you as quickly as possible. But if that's it for today, we'll be back again on Wednesday about 4 PM with another live stream. Something you want us to cover again, send us a message and we'll throw it to the top of the list as quick as we can. But until then, I'll see you in a bit.